Hey everyone, it's Lynnea, and today I have the first video in a series for the Crafty Festival of Christmas. And a bunch of us crafters have gotten together, and each Friday from now through mid-December, we're going to be using products and we're all going to be crafting with a certain theme. So for this first week, all of us are going to be creating projects that are either snowy themed or snarky. So I went with snowy because that's just more me. I love snow and snowmen and all of that good stuff. So I'm going to be creating a card, and I'll be using the Warm Winter Wishes card kit from Gina Designs. So to start off with here, I have the snowfall stencil, and I sprayed the back of it with some pixie spray and tacked that onto a piece of heavyweight cardstock. I'll use a blender brush and some Hickory Smoke Distress ink to add a light layer of this kind of gray ink onto my background. Now I have a heavy hand, and my idea for this card was to use a very light gray ink, but when I first brought my ink over my stencil, it was darker than I wanted, so I kind of had to just roll with it, and so I made all of those little snowflakes darker than I originally wanted them to be. But in the end, I really love how this card turned out, and it is such a clean and simple design. You could easily mass produce this and use it for your holiday and winter cards. So once I had all of that stenciled on, I removed that stencil, and I just love how the snowfall stencil has like that wonky snowfall feel to it. I'm going to grab the Folk Art Snowflake stamp set. This stamp set has 4 different styles of snowflakes, and they're all very, like, I guess if a snowflake could be scripty, these would be scripty. They're elegant, and I love them. So I'm just going to use my Misty, and I will arrange them over top of my stenciled background, and then I can just ink them up all together. So when I am stamping multiple images at once, I like to use my Misty because even though you have to kind of wipe off the stamp images and move them around and replace them and restamp them, this is just easier for me because I can close the lid on my Misty now and pick up all 4 of those large snowflakes and stamp them all together at once. So I'll be using Cracked Pistachio Distress Oxide ink. And I'm using the oxide ink because that is going to allow me to layer over top of this stenciled snowflake background. The oxide inks are kind of part pigment and part dye, so it will layer over top of inks and you won't really be able to see through it. It's an opaque ink. I'm going to ink this up again and stamp it down again, and then I can just move around my stamps and keep repeating this process until my background is full of those snowflakes. Now there are 2 larger stamp sets, and I stamped out the snowman from the Winter Hugs stamp set and colored that in with Copic markers, and then I'm going to pull my sentiment from both of these sentiments stamp sets. So I'll use the Christmas from the Christmas Silhouettes and that large script Wishes from the Winter Hug stamp set, and I'll use my Misty to just line that up and get that centered in my card. I'll stamp it with VersaFine Onyx Black ink so that it will be crisp and dark black, and then I'll use just some foam squares behind that die cut snowman and add him right over top of that sentiment there. I'm going to finish this off with just a little bit of glitter from my Spectrum Noir clear shimmer pen, and that's going to be it for this card. So I really hope you enjoyed this project, and remember to come back every Friday for the Crafty Festival of Christmas. Next week is another theme, and I really hope that you're going to enjoy this little collaboration between a bunch of us crafters to celebrate the holidays. I'll see you soon. Bye!